And welcome everybody back to Let's Play Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. In the last episode, we arrived here at Planet Aether to respond to a distressed signal from the Galactic Federation. And unfortunately, we found a bunch of these guys dead. And a lot of them turned into zombies like these guys right here. But we also ran into a doppelganger of sorts, like a dark doppelganger, Samus. And she kind of took away our powers in the sense, well, we kind of went into this alternate dimension, and something happened and took away all our powers. So now we're going around continuing our mission without all our power-ups. We don't even have missiles. We have Morphball still, though. But anyways, in the next room over here, if you scan this thing, this will activate the elevator. This is how you're going to activate a lot of the mechanisms in this game. And I know this is probably a lot of annoying things that people probably say about this. This game had one annoying feature. A lot of people don't like scanning a lot. I've always trained myself to scan everything in a room, so I'm going to be scanning a lot in this playthrough. There's another one of those doors that we can't open up because we don't have the right alien language or whatever. But anyways, we got another gate here, so we'll have to activate the switch in order to get the locks to show themselves, and we can shoot them. That'll open that gate up. Like I said before, you're gonna be scanning a lot in this game, and I mean a lot. It's a lot more than the first game. But as you guys can probably see over here, there's a bunch of stuff around here. It says this is a Galactic Federation crate. Yeah, it says the scan visor can be used to gather useful information. So we're going to be doing just that. This is a heavy transport crate. This cannot be destroyed, currently connected to an industrial winch system for movement. So we have to find something to move that winch system and whatnot. If you go ahead, and there's another one of these crates, but you can't destroy them with conventional weapons. And yeah, they cannot be destroyed. In order to activate the winch system, is you have to come over here and scan this thing. And now the winch is gonna move. The winch. I love that word, winch. It's a common word you don't really hear very much to describe a mechanism of things. I don't hear winch. I hear wrench, but I don't hear winch. I hear another word of winch, but that's usually kind of a derogatory term towards a woman, so I'd rather not talk about that. Anyways, there's another one of these doors. Unfortunately, we can't use these things here. Before you do that, there's a useful thing to scan right here, and this is for your logbook. This is a splinter cocoon. The reason why I'm doing it from distance here is because these things are going to burst open as soon as I get close to them. And splinters are going to kind of pop out of them. You'll see here in a second. Yeah, see? Right there. And speaking of splinters, let's go ahead and scan a regular splinter. We had a splinter worker last episode. These are regular splinters. These guys will kind of dive bomb at you. They're pretty easy enemies. They're like the easiest enemies in the game, so don't worry about that right now. They won't give you too much trouble, I hope. Maybe if they're in like a group of like 10, maybe. But you shouldn't have too much trouble. And there's another enemy right here. This is a green Kraly. These are just wall climbers. They're kind of like... The best way I can describe it are these guys are zoomers. Zoomers from previous Metroid games. But as you guys can see, the splinter cocoon got destroyed right here. And if you... I mean, there's going to be plenty of chances to scan for the splinter cocoon. It's not a big deal, but that's probably the earliest you can scan it. So, I kind of want to get it out of the way. I'm going to be talking about a lot of scans that are missable, because there are a lot of missable scans in this game. And if you're trying to fill out the logbook, it's kind of annoying. But if you scan this thing, going to be more switches coming up. But we need to scan this gate because, just like the other thing, this bridge is a part of the logbook for GF security. So, this is a Mark II bridge, portable bridge system. The bridge is durable, but often locks in place, leading the Marines to call in a new design. So, that's pretty much that. Scan this bridge, because this is part of the logbook. So, let's, as the tutorial says, let's aim upwards, and we can kind of shoot these locks down. You can still scan the bridge if you accidentally knock it down before you scan it. See, you can still scan it. So, stuff you've already scanned are going to show up in green. Stuff that can be scanned but are kind of important are going to show up in blue. Pretty much stuff you haven't scanned yet are going to show up in blue. Very important items are going to show up in red. So, be sure to be mindful of that. You're going to be in your scan visor a lot in this game. And from the looks of it, we've got actually, I don't know what, I think red means lore, if I remember correctly, or just an activated device and whatnot. There's a dead Marine right here. The lore has been upgraded to your logbook, Galactic Federation Marine Corps, PFC Marine Veroni. I actually like this one here. It says, I think Haley's losing it. He talks to himself all the time, and he won't sleep. He almost shot me on the watch the other night. I think he thought I was one of those things. I talked to the doc about taking him off the line, and he told me we need all the help we can get. That's true. But if he goes berserk and kills a bunch of us, that won't be very helpful. It's kind of scary, to really think about it. A lot of these Marines were kind of losing their heads. They're kind of getting PTSD in a way. But anyways, let's go through this hole here. And we got more of these green Krayleys. Let's go ahead and kill them real quick. They make weird noises too when they die. They're like, wow! Now this thing is kind of interesting. This is what we saw at the landing site. This is something we can't use with our regular beam right now. We'll have to come back when we get another beam. But I welcome you guys. I mean, we've been here for a while. This is the temple grounds. This is pretty much the main hub of Planet Ether. So that's pretty much that right now. They've got a bunch of splinters around here. There's a bunch of stuff to scan here too, like this blast shield. You guys probably saw a red door before. What we need to do is we need to use a missile on that door before we can even open it. And actually, there's a couple things, not too many things here. There was another chance to get some splinter cocoons. I kind of activated it way too early, but it's whatever. Die, splinter. Die. There's another door. There's one splinter I missed. Another door with alien text. Man, we're like passing up a lot of doors here that we can't, access because the alien text is written on it. Alright, let's scan this thing right here, and that'll cause the industrial winch, the same one we had earlier, to drop that mechanical thing down. But as you guys can see, the machine's kind of going up in smoke. But if you actually if you scan this right here, it'll tell you that the unit cannot be destroyed. Yeah, we kind of already talked about that, but if you come up here and get a little closer to scan it, it says it needs maintenance. Several systems are borderline critical. Further operations may lead to system failure. I can tell you one thing we could do to make a system failure. Just shoot the shoot the thing, and now it makes a bridge over to the next door. So let's keep going on our merry way right here. Now, there's going to be another thing right here. There's a bunch of rocks right here. This is Denzium. We're not going to be talking about Denzium for a long time. Okay, so don't even worry about that. You need power bombs for that. But if you scan this gate, this is another gate that is for the research log. This is a gate that's composed of Denzium. Pretty much that stuff I just talked about. Denzium we won't be able to break until much later in the game. But if you you scan this thing right here, it'll actually lift up the gate for you. So you don't need to use Denzium at all. But we got a little splinters coming out because we destroyed their home. But that's okay. Let's go on to the next room. There's a bunch of splinters. Who would have guessed? More bugs. I always liked the splinter design. I praised the beetles from the last game, but the splinters I always liked better because it just, I don't know. I like their design as bugs. On the ground right here, there's another lore for the trooper logs. This is a Marine Corps, PFC El Bruta. Let's go ahead and read his log here. It says, "We'll be making our stand here. The engineer tells There's no way we'll get the ship's engines online, and atmospheric interference is scrambling our distress beacon. If anyone reads this, know that we did our duty and fought well. That's kind of sad. I really feel bad for these troopers here. We've been finding a bunch of them just laying on the ground, just dead. I think we're really too late for this whole operation. But if you scan this thing, it'll actually activate this communication array. Alright, it says transmission failed due to atmospheric interference. Just like that log said right there. He said that it was kind of failing because of that. And we got more zombies coming up here. These guys are pretty easy, like I said before. One charge shot should take care of them. But be careful, like I said, they can chip your health away really fast if they have really good aim. I do believe you can scam this thing. This is not for book right here. It's just telling you, oh, that's kind of a weird formation of stalactites. But there is something scannable here, but let's kill these splinters first before we even get a chance to. There is a turret up here, and he's going to shoot me. This turret right here is a Growler class turret. It's pretty much just a mechanical machine that you can take out with a charge beam shot. So, that's pretty cool. This gate right here will not open until we actually throw a switch here. And here's a clue right here to actually get to that switch. There is a tiny hole right here we can go through a morph ball. And there's another trooper log right here. This is for SPCM Angsith. Let's go ahead and read his data log here. This is ridiculous. I can now shoot half the men here, and I'm stuck on monitor duty. I didn't join up to stare at a hollow screen. This wouldn't happen to Samus Aran. She'd be out there taking care of business, not pushing buttons and sending reports. Kind of sounds like a bunch of people who disagreed with Samus's character development in Other M. Oh, I'm just kidding. I understand why people are upset with that. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that guy is. It's funny because later that guy's like admiration for Samus comes up in another log. Be very careful when you're going through that gate right there because it's going up and down. On the left-hand port of the HUD here, you can kind of see like a danger sign that tells you if you get close to it, you're gonna get hurt. So it's just to warn environmental damage to you. All right, so now we're coming up to this big area here. This is where the compound is, where the Galactic Federation landed. If we come up close to them, we'll see what happened to them. It seems like we were too late. Let's see what we can find out what happened to these guys. Data cycle. I cannot say that. Final report. While on patrol of the Dasha system, we engaged an unknown space pirate frigate. The enemy frigate was crippled and it crashed on the planet Ether. We followed the pirates, but our ship was damaged by the storm as we entered Ether's atmosphere. Kind of like our ship. Heavy magnetic activity during the storm disabled our communications. Upon landing, we split into two units, one set up for ops and the other set to stand here. Each unit was doing fine, no problems. Until they appeared. And they're attacking a bunch of these dark versions of these splinters. These are just like regular splinters, but they're like more darkness based into them. They're attacking on the poor Federation troopers here. Ugh. Poor guy. This scared me when I was a kid. Just to think about all this. And Samus puts him at ease. I'd feel bad too. We were too late for these guys. It's really sad to think that this all happened because of this. Now, I'm going to tell you guys right now, there is a bunch to scan here, especially the logs. If we scan this here, it tells us that the Federation data terminal is inactive. It's damaged, unable to restore access, seek individual log entries to trooper armor suit systems. So if we want to know what happened more about what happened to these guys, let's scan this guy that we just talked to. This is Captain Exeter, I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and read his data log. I'm beginning to think it was a real bad idea going down there. Reeves was right. That hive is just one of many. It's stupid to stir a hornet's nest, especially if you plan on sleeping under it. This segment, like they said in the memory, is split up into 2 units. One for the operations, and one to kind of stay here. This is Force 1. All the people here are Force 1. The ones that we've been finding out in the wild does Force 2. Let's see this guy here. This is LCPLJ Broad. Let's go ahead and see him. Man, I hope that was the only breeding ground for these things. If there's more, we're in big trouble. We've had enough time taking out one of those out of commission. I almost ran out of ammo. I never run out of ammo. Man, I feel bad about that. And I think one of these troopers is probably my favorite because it's just the creepy atmosphere here. This is SPCF Triplet. I like his name, Triplet. Let's go ahead and read his book. He says, the Sarge says those splinters remind him of some killer bug he saw on another planet once. All I know is these things are fast and take a lot to drop. Pretty soon, we'll have to go to bayonets. Everyone's low on ammo, even Broad. And he was the stingiest grunt I know. Yeah, he mentioned that. He's like, I never run out of ammo. There's another wall right here that has alien text, but this one's green. So I'll tell you right now, that one won't be accessed until much later. Let's go ahead and read this guy here. This is Milligan. PFCS Milligan. Let's go ahead and read his. Bruta lost the bet, so he switched watch duty with me. I figure this section is nice and safe and boring, which suits me just fine. Let those other pugs guard the hot zone. Hold on. Hey! Halt! No! Help! Transmission ends. That's kind of scary to think he just died while he was writing his log here. And this one is Haley. Okay, this is my favorite one because just how creepy this one is. Personal log of PFCG Haley. Let's go ahead and read this. I hear them everywhere. They're coming. Can't sleep ever. They'll eat me. Eat. This was that trooper that one guy mentioned in his thing that Haley was losing it. This is that trooper. He was already starting to lose it. There's another trooper right there. You can barely see him, but he's right there. This is PFC Craney. As of right now, we have 91 trooper logs. We've almost got all the troopers accounted for in a way. So let's go ahead and see PFCI Craney. Last night at Chow, Angseth starts talking about some bounty hunter, and how she blew up a planet full of space pirates. I told her I didn't believe in fairy tales like that, and she took it personal. I just find it hard to believe that one person took out an entire space pirate base. That's all. But if she wants to believe in the Samus or Bigfoot or Santa Claus, she can. I wonder how Samus must really feel about reading that log, because I guess there's some people out there that just think that she don't exist. But if we scan the actual Harrier itself here, this is a vehicle for your logbook. So be sure to grab this while you're here too. Now the nice thing about this is if you come inside the Harrier itself, you'll see all these seats right here. These seats is a nice in-game way of telling you all the trooper logs and to tell you how many you're probably missing at this point. So if you are missing any of these guys that you read on the scan right here, chances are that's the one you're missing and you should go back and get it. This is a nice in-game way of telling you how to grab all the trooper log stuff and whatnot. Then if you open this door right here, scan this door, it'll access a map station. So we'll need another map station because we kind of filled up our map station already. Time to update the map. Because I'm the map. I'm the map room. You've downloaded the map for this area. Alright, so let's see what it's actually done. If we look at it here, it'll actually show you all of the temple grounds now. So instead of just that one little area that we got in last episode, now I'll show you the remainder of the temple grounds. So that's nice to have. Come over here. This is where the map room essentially for temple grounds is. And then finally there's 2 more seats right here. And these are the commanding officers of the mission. One thing I have to say about the Federation troopers, I know this game kind of started them off as a bunch of red shirts, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Just grunts that just die really easily. But you really feel bad for these guys, because they came to this planet not knowing this was going to happen to them. But anyways, scan this thing right here. This is a kinetic orb cannon, and this is for your research logbook. What this does is essentially, if you scan this device right here, it'll put power into the kinetic orb cannon. Essentially, what happens is if you go in morph ball form and go into that cannon, the cannon will shoot you to a new location. So like this. There we go. And now we have access to this area right here. Unfortunately, there's one more thing that we have to do before we go any further. If you scan this crate right here, it says, this is a ordnance crate. Tactical data suggests the presence of personal weapon system within the crate. Use of heavy force required to eliminate the crate. So pretty much what we need to do is use a charge shot and blast it open. And inside is our missile launcher. So let's go ahead and, if we scan it right here, you'll notice this is a missile launcher. This will grant us the missiles that we just lost last episode. So now we can fire missiles again, and every missile expansion after that will give you 5 additional missiles. But as soon as you pick it up, those things that killed the Federation troopers actually appear right here. And these are brand new splinters. These are just like dark beings of these splinters. So scan them, and they go to your logbook. There's going to be a lot of this in this game, where there's going to be dark variants of many enemies. So when you see one enemy, more than likely it's got a dark variant. So you get pretty much two scans for the price of one. These guys take a lot more, fire than regular splinters. Actually, one thing you could probably do is use your missiles on them. But you push Y to shoot missiles. And this is a missile ammunition pickup, so it'll recharge some of your missiles that you just lost. But yeah, get used to that. In this game, there's going to be a lot of dark variants of these enemies that you're going to be fighting, so if you see an enemy, more than likely it's got a dark variant. But that'll come in more detail about that later. Anyways, we need to get back to that kinetic orb cannon, since now we got missiles, we can actually go through that door. So let's go ahead and do that. And you guys probably saw right there, right over here, you can probably see it, but around where that one trooper was on the cliff, there's a yellow door. We won't be able to open that until very late game. Now, if you want to leave for whatever reason, actually, this will take you right over to that yellow door. So, there's that. If you scan this, it'll tell you you need a power bomb to break it open. We won't get power bombs until very late game, so don't even worry about it. Alright, so now, let's go ahead and blast this door open with a missile, and that'll break the lock. And now this door will no longer need the missiles, so... And finally, there is one more trooper. Now we have all the trooper log in the game already. We already 100%ed one section of the game. The trooper logs. This is PFCE Dennis. So let's go ahead and read this one. This one's a depressing one. I'm the only one left. Managed to get out of the hive, but when I got to the ship, everyone was gone. Dead. I'm heading for that alien building we saw earlier. Maybe someone can help me. There. Wait. Something moving down there. Hello? And that was it. It killed him. That's really kind of a sad ending to that. But, alas, that's all the trooper logs in the game. I know, we already finished one segment. But as soon as you roll down here, you'll activate a little hive with new enemies here. Let's go ahead and scan these guys here. These guys were in the last game. These are war wasps. These guys throw their stingers at you. They don't ram you like the other variants of these. So they'll kind of just like throw their stingers at you. They just shoot projectiles. They're pretty easy to take out though. I think these guys don't have a logbook entry. These are just crates, essentially. Now, one thing we need to do in here is we need to find this thing right here. Let's go ahead and scan it. Power restored to the kinetic orb cannon. Okay, so we got another one of those kinetic orb cannons. So let's go ahead and use it real quick. There we go. Alright, so now we can advance further along the way. Now, finally, we have more war wasps. We got something else to scan right here. This is a war wasp hive. These spawn war wasps. Destroy these if you see these. One missile will destroy a war wasp hive. Because if you do not destroy them, the war wasp will infinitely spawn. So I went ahead and... Actually, I didn't even get that one. Let me see if I can try to get it again. There we go. Okay. So, pretty much just destroy all the war wasp stuff that you can. And actually, I'm running out. I ran out of ammo here, so I need to kind of get more. There we go. All right, so pretty much right here, there's a giant red thing right here when we scan. We need to scan it, and it tells us explosive damage may cause it to weaken. All right, so let's launch a missile at it, and sure enough, it did. But right now, we need to. There's another kinetic orb cannon right here. So let's go ahead and scan this thing, which will activate it. Because we weaken that structure right there, as soon as we blast through here, it'll destroy the wall right there. I think I killed one of the war wasps. But there's a war wasp hive right there. You can kind of see, it looks like an eyeball eyeing me right there. There's more, but that should pretty much eliminate all the war wasps in this area. Because one thing I don't like about war wasps is they're kind of annoying enemies. But anyways, let's go through here. Alrighty. And if we keep rolling along right here, we should have access to this. Now, there's a dead body right here. What does this have to say? Target has been dead for 8 cycles. Trace amounts of unknown chemical presence in target. It has an effect similar to the mummification of dead biomatter. Further analysis required to determine chemicals' effect on living biomatter. This is an interesting creature. We've never seen this creature before. So, maybe we'll find out more about these here in a little bit. Let's go ahead and activate this scan right here. We can now activate this elevator. I wonder where this elevator is going to take us. I always loved how this game kind of disguised its loading screens by playing a cutscene over it. But here we arrived at the Great Temple. The Great Temple is another sub-area of the temple grounds. So, that's pretty neat. Area resource scan complete. Local save beacon active. Save station located. And sure enough, the save station is actually just one room over. So, we'll be able to save finally. And there's more of these creatures right here. It's been dead for 1.8 8.1 cycles. Despite the presence of local animals, target's corpse has not been disturbed. Scans suggest the presence of a toxic biochemical within the target. This may explain the lack of carrion feeding. So there's something toxic that killed these things. Target size and muscle mass suggest it was heavy combat training. It's likely it was a warrior of some kind. The lack of gear, armor, and weapons is curious. Perhaps they were taken by others of its kind? That's kind of interesting. I don't know what killed these, but... Anyways, as soon as you walk in here, this is going to be very quick, and it's going to be really hard to scan this. As soon as you walk up in here, there's going to be a bunch of flying creatures walking around here, and it's going to be really hard to scan these things. And if you don't get them, like I just did, don't worry about it. There's going to be another chance to get those things. But it's really hard to scan those enemies, so you don't worry about it if you don't scan it, because we're actually going to be seeing those in the next area. Part of the comprised security system. Only basic door systems remain online. Huh. Now, this is kind of odd. This is like giving power to something, and it's going through this hole here. But as soon as you walk in here, there's a save station right here. That's been powering the save station. Now, there's another rock formation right here, and it has tectonic alloy, which is I need bombs for, but unfortunately I don't have bombs. So, but I think this is gonna be good enough to call it an episode. We did a lot in this episode. So, next time we meet in Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, we are going to continue onwards in this great temple here to kind of see, well, what do we do after this? We found the disturbance, but now we need to kind of take out the source of it. But with that, I'll see you guys in the next episode.